Why your first $5,000 feels more powerful than your first $50,000. You check your bank app, probably half out of habit, half out of anxiety. You scroll past the transactions, rent, groceries, subscriptions you forgot to cancel. And then you see it. Your balance is finally above $5,000. Not $5,023, not about $5,000. A clean number, $5,000. And for a second, you feel something weird. Relief, confidence, control. Even if you don't earn much yet, even if your salary isn't impressive, that $5,000 feels huge. Now here's the confusing part. People who already have $50,000 don't feel 10 times better. Sometimes they don't even feel better at all. Here's the thing, that's not an accident. My name is Dan, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, investing, and why financial progress feels so different at different stages. If you're someone who is working hard, saving slowly, and feels like wealth always seems just out of reach, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down why your first $5,000 is psychologically and financially more powerful than your first $50,000, and how understanding this can completely change how you build wealth. Look, most people assume money works linearly. Double the money, double the confidence. 10 times the money, 10 times the peace. But that's not how it actually works. Here's what most people don't realize. Money doesn't just buy things, it buys options. And the first few options you unlock are the most life-changing. Let's talk about what $5,000 actually represents. For most people, this is the first time they're not completely fragile. Before this point, one problem can wreck you. A car repair, a medical bill, a missed paycheck. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. So when you hit $5,000, you cross an invisible line. You're no longer surviving month to month, you have buffer. And psychologically, that's massive. Your brain finally stops screaming, one mistake and it's over. Now compare that to $50,000. Yes, it's objectively more money, but by the time you get there, you've already adapted. This is called hedonic adaptation, the human tendency to get used to improvements faster than we expect. The first time you get breathing room, it feels incredible. The 10th upgrade, it barely registers. That's why $5,000 feels powerful and $50,000 often just feels normal. Now let's look at the math side, because this is where it gets really interesting. Your first $5,000 is usually the hardest money you'll ever save. Why? Because it's built under pressure. You're saving while earning less, making mistakes, and learning how money even works. You're building habits with very little margin for error. Once you have $5,000, the game starts to change. Let's say you invest that $5,000 and earn an average of 8% annually. In 1 year, it earns about $400. That's not life-changing yet, but psychologically it is. Because for the first time, money is making money without you working more hours. That flips a switch. Now compare that to $50,000 at the same return. Yes, it earns about $4,000 a year, but emotionally, it doesn't feel 10 times better, because by then, your identity has already shifted. You've already proven to yourself that wealth is possible. The first $5,000 isn't about returns, it's about belief. Here's an analogy. The first time you learn to balance on a bicycle, that moment is everything. Once you've got balance, riding faster doesn't feel revolutionary, it just feels incremental. Your first $5,000 is balance. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but shouldn't I focus on making more money instead of obsessing over small amounts? Yes, eventually. But skipping this stage is exactly why so many people earn more and still feel broke. Because income without financial control just scales stress. Here's what most people get wrong. They think confidence comes after wealth. In reality, confidence comes from proving to yourself that you can manage money well at small levels. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. The foundation was never built. This is where psychology matters more than math. Your first $5,000 teaches you delayed gratification, emotional control, consistency, and patience. Those skills are worth more than the money itself. Once you have them, $50,000 becomes inevitable. Without them, $50,000 disappears. I've seen this firsthand. I've watched people celebrate a $100,000 income while panicking over a $1,000 emergency, and I've seen people earning half that sleep peacefully because they mastered the basics early. Same economy, different relationship with money. Now let's talk about compounding, but in a way most people don't. Compounding doesn't just apply to money, it applies to behavior. Saving your first $5,000 compounds into better decisions, higher risk tolerance, smarter investing, and more confidence asking for raises or opportunities. This is why the early phase feels so powerful. The growth isn't just in your net worth, it's in you. And once that changes, money accelerates. So what should you actually do if you're trying to reach your first $5,000? First, stop underestimating it. This is not a small milestone. This is the hardest one. Second, keep it boring. Your first $5,000 isn't for flexing, gambling, or chasing returns. It's for stability. High-yield savings, emergency fund. Low risk, liquid. Third, protect the habit, not the number. If you save $200 a month consistently, you're winning even if progress feels slow. Because once habits are locked in, income growth does the heavy lifting. And finally, don't rush the comparison game. Social media will tell you $5,000 is nothing, $50,000 is average, $100,000 is the new zero. Ignore that. Most people never reach true financial stability, not because they're incapable, but because they don't respect the early stages. Look, your first $5,000 won't change your lifestyle, but it will change your trajectory. It's proof that you're no longer just reacting to money, you're directing it. And once that changes, money accelerates. So if this video made you feel better about where you are, or more focused on what actually matters, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more honest conversations about money that don't shame you for starting small. Because wealth isn't built by jumping steps. It's built by mastering the ones everyone else rushes past.